Our rights are under constant attack, guys. Our well-being is under constant assault. Our beloved franchises are being ruined just to spite us. Men are sleeping in their cars due to child support. Our very genitalia is being mutilated when we're mere infants to damage our sexual pleasure. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is dating, shacking up with the girls. That's the ultimate. Anyway, here's Dapper Dev, and he's going to critique another man's uh, conversation, and we'll see if Dapper gets it right. I'm going to bet he's not. Anyway, let's hear what Dapper has to say.
Say that modern dating is broken. It's almost as if men and women don't even like each other anymore.
No, hold it. Women never liked men, Dapper. So your head's still in the clouds. It's just that the mask is off and we can see it now. We can see it, but you can't admit it still. Continue.
What do you think is kind of driving this divergence? And I guess, what could the consequences of this be?
Well, I think the puzzle might be simpler than it looks, but the diagnosis.
It's extremely simple. It's as simple as it can get. It's only complicated if you're denying the truth.
Diagnosis is starker. You effectively have a cascade of unforeseen consequences of, on the one hand, birth control that is reliable, and on the
Hey, dude, we don't want reliable birth control. That's what guys want, right? To be caught in a loveless marriage because he knocks some girl up. Male contraception is actually coming, the male pill. And guys better jump on it.
other hand, feminism, for lack of a better term.
Of course, this is bullshit. Feminism comes for women. This is just women rejecting men. Hey, old guy, whatever your name is, I don't know who you're responding to, Dapper, but this guy is in denial. Women never wanted to be with us. I can accept that truth. He can't.
Sensibilities of the moment and technologies radically altered the relationship between men and women.
Actually, it didn't alter it at all, right? He's right about the technology. It allowed women the freedom to act like they really wanted to all this time.
That
The woman's attitude is not different at all.
altered relationship did not get a coherent replacement. And the system we currently have is disruptive of all of the normal things that allow men and women to partner.
No, dude, there was never a partnership between men and women. Men worked and men served and women mastered. And that hasn't changed at all, guys. Just because women are doing it indirectly doesn't mean anything has changed. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
And be prosperous as a result of doing so.
Women prosper fantastically. Women have never been in a better situation in all of human history. See, this guy he can't admit it. He's the one who's suffering. Guys and our neediness to have that woman in their life, we're the ones suffering, right?
At the moment, what I see when I talk to young people is I don't think.
No, don't use gender neutral terms, Guy. It's guys who are suffering. You talk to women, they're just going to say, yeah, life is great.
Think that young men and women like each other anymore.
Women never liked us. Women never liked us.
You know what that is, though? from a man's perspective, the cat's out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag. We've seen so much in the last 30 years with the internet exposing things that were often kept a secret in past generations.
Yeah, the mask is gone off. Women are actually telling us to our faces that they don't like us, or if we're going to deal with them, we have to pay. That's right.
Everybody just knows too much at this point. The thrill is gone, if you will.
The thrill? Dapper, what are you talking about? You mean the delusion is gone? Even now, you can't come to terms with it.
And you're not putting that cat back in the bag.
That's true. Women don't want to deal with us. They don't have to. So what are you going to do about it?
It used to be back in the day that a man's perspective, a man's outlook on a woman was a little bit Disney-esque to some degree.
It still is, dude. That guy speaking, he's still in La La Land.
It's hard to have that old-fashioned Disney optimism and romance in the modern world. That's what this is. It's hard to have that desire for old-fashioned love itself, not even the woman.
What are you talking about? The desire's still there. You're just finding out it doesn't exist. Guys have a deep desire for romance with women. That hasn't changed. See, this guy, sorry, Dapper, you're still delusional.
It's hard to have the desire for the old-fashioned Disney romance when you know everything that everyone knows today. The cat's just so out of the bag.
By the way, Dapper, you're wearing a cross. Is that just decoration, or are you a Christian? Because Christian guys, they think going to the church is going to get them to meet some girl. It doesn't work. The women aren't interested in the low status congregant. They want the high status preacher, right?
I think they've both got the ick. And
bullshit, dude. Women always had the ick for men. Men don't have the ick for women. You're full of shit. Just because a guy realizes how dangerous it is to deal with the opposite sex doesn't mean he has the ick. Men still worship women, and so do you. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, or you're lying.
having the ick means that they are looking to the future with an eye towards how to go it alone, how to get their needs met.
Again, gender neutral terms. Only guys are worried about that. Women aren't. Women are loving it. They like the company of their girlfriends. They don't want to bother with men. They can do that now. Sorry, dude. You are trying to include the girls to say, hey, this is a problem for all of us. It isn't. It's your issue, dude, as a man.
In the absence of a historically useful plan.
How is it useful? So men being little bitch boys to women, that was useful? Not to me. It was useful to women, but not to us guys. Okay, dude, you are trying to shine a turd.
And I think this looks different to men and women because ironically, despite...
It just looks different to men. Women are loving this, right? Got to stop this every time because this guy, he doesn't want to come to terms. He thinks women are suffering. And hey, dude, if women wanted to be with men, they'd just be with us. And it wouldn't be an issue.
Some of the sensibilities that we've had shoved down our throat, men and women are different. And I think women, absent a partnership with men, are looking more or less to the state to provide.
Yeah. So all it means is they never wanted to bother with you, dude.
And that leads to, I resist the idea that it's really a turn to the left, but it is a turn.
It isn't a turn to the left. Women are not left wing, dude. Whatever your name is. I call them dude guys. I don't know who this guy's name is. Women are left wing. They're hardcore right wingers. When it comes to relationships with men, they're 100% traditional and conservative.
To the nominally left. And men are banding together and teaming up the way men do.
No, they aren't. Men don't do anything. I see a bunch of guys still beating each other up, trying to impress the girls. What do you think a white knight is? How come male feminists abound? Men are teaming up.
And that has them moving towards something that I think it's more justified to call right or conservative. Now, I don't think any of this.
These guys aren't necessarily right wing, though, or conservative. They just think that they'll do whatever it takes to get the girl. They think there's a conservative girl who actually has their values, and their values is she actually likes them and wants to be with them. Hey, she spread her legs for him during the wedding night. She produced a baby for him, so she must like him, right? It turns out all those conservative women are just using men. Right?
Goes anywhere good.
Hey, can I ask you something, Dapper? Do you have who this guy is? Modern day, follow me on Instagram. Original video link below. Okay, I might actually take a look at that. Okay. Maybe I should talk to this guy directly and not Dapper. Right?
Does not result in a stable new equilibrium of some kind. It's certainly.
Well, you're full of shit, dude. There is a new equilibrium. Totally different equilibrium. It's just that the girls like it and you guys hate it.
Bad for people. Almost nobody is ahead of where
Yes, they are. Women are loving it. They get first dibs in education. They get first dibs at the job market. They can still shack up with some loser and then, quit her job and retire early. And then they can discard the man when she's tired of him. Women get it all, dude. You are full of shit.
Parents or grandparents' generation was as a result of a more traditional mode of interaction. That said, one of the things I see is a burgeoning trad movement, which
it's an act of desperation from guys. That's what it is. It's an act of desperation. Our rights are going down the tubes. Women are always trying to take our rights away, invade our spaces, destroy our entertainment. But damn it, I can't get one to pretend she likes me.
On the one hand, does one of the things that must be done. It defends virtues that have been derided recently.
There's nothing virtuous about the usury of men of the past. The usury of men from women of the past. There's no virtue to that. For you to say that means you are the enemy of men. Do you hear that, Dapper? Conservative men are the enemy of their fellow man because they're turd shiners. So a woman pretends she likes a guy and tolerates his presence so she can use him. And that's the best you can hope for? How slave-minded.
But it is not a solution either. For one thing, even conservatives are availing themselves of birth control for very good reasons. It allows you to control how many children you have, when you have them.
Exactly. Birth control is great. Birth control is great. There's nothing to complain about that.
And that is a hard-won gain that actually has a great value. But it also carries with it a kind of power for which we don't have the appropriate wisdom. So
What are you talking about, dude? There's nothing to gain by getting rid of birth control. All he's saying is he'd rather be enslaved by a woman, and so therefore women enslaving men through babies is a good thing. What about all of us guys who have like self-respect or intact humanity? How about that, whatever your name is?
I don't think you can conserve your way out of this puzzle. What has to happen is a renegotiation of the arrangement between mankind and womankind.
Did you hear that, guys? A renegotiation. A renegotiation. So you're at the table, the other side has everything, you have nothing. What are you going to need renegotiate with? Guys are already renegotiating. They're giving everything and hoping it'll change. It's not working because women don't like us. And I can live with that. I can live with that harsh truth. This guy can't. And notice at the end of this, he will not have a solution. These guys don't. They can't. The only solution is for men to get over this.
But hold on a minute. Just to talk like that, the renegotiation, it's just not natural. You're not negotiating desire. You're not going to negotiate anything natural.
I'm not quite sure what he's saying here. He's closer to the truth than the fool talking. Yeah, you can't renegotiate because the nature is that women don't like men. So there's you can't, that is natural. But it's nature these guys are in denial of, right? So Dapper, let's see if you can get this right.
Or anything real. And that goes back to what I said before. The problem is we no longer believe in romance itself. Like even me sitting here right now.
There you go. Dude, you don't have to believe in romance. You either want to be with someone or you don't.
Talking about love and romance.
So he's saying women would love to be with men, but they just don't believe in romance anymore. So Dapper, you have failed as much as the other guy.
Most of you are probably thinking, ha, how silly. I'll be honest, that's the way I feel about it a lot of the time. And I'm not saying I'm just doom and gloom. I'd love to meet somebody tomorrow that knocked my socks off and made me feel the butterflies. But again, the cat's out of the bag now so much that most men's mind doesn't get sucked into the Disney romance anymore. We just know too much.
But this is a good thing. This is a good thing. What good would be to live in a delusion?
We know what really goes on. We know what their pasts are really like. Back in the day, guys believed in the Disney romance for a long time because you didn't know anybody.
We know what their past is really like. What does he mean by that, guys? That women actually like sex and bang other guys. So this guy is anti-male. Well, there's nothing else about a woman's past that these guys care about. So, dude, what kind of fool are you? If you looked into a woman's past and she never slept with a guy, that means she doesn't like sex with guys. And you want to shack up with this person? You want to know these women have been ran through, and often. Because if you're lucky enough as a fool, or I should say foolish enough, to get lucky and get one of these women to say yes to you, you have an idea that she might spread her legs for you.
Better. You don't know what you don't know. But with the advent of the internet and social media and everybody sharing information like this, the cat is just out of the bag. You can't negotiate feeling desire and feeling the butterflies and the romance and the mystery.
Well, you can't negotiate women into liking you. Okay? That's all this is. So it's time to move on, right?
Like that stuff doesn't exist anymore because
It never did.
we are just burnt out. We've seen too much. We've heard too much.
This is posturing. You're not burnt out, dude. You're deselected. You're rejected. Guys, I want to be with these women, but I'm so burnt out. She said no to me 500 times. I'm so burnt out.
We all know too much. So I don't know if you can renegotiate anything.
What the hell? Dude, you can't negotiate anything. You don't have anything the girls want that she can't get indirectly. And by the way, why would you renegotiate? If she wants to be with you, there wouldn't be any need to negotiate. This is pathetic.
I don't know how those feelings come back without us completely getting away from technology altogether and just letting our minds wander back into a world of mystery.
And I keep waiting to see
So you want to pretend women aren't what they are. What a loser.
that movement. What is the new way that we are to interact now that we, for example, have control over when and how many children to have?
Now, this is bullshit. Dude, women ditching you have nothing to do with birth control. Nothing.
But I don't see it. And I'm frustrated by the chaos that is being engendered in the absence of that deal.
No chaos has been engendered. There's no chaos, dude. Women are living fine. And you're not suffering chaos. You're just being rejected. Look at this chaos. I went to get on a date and the woman wasn't interested in me. That's so much chaos, everyone. Buildings are falling down because she said no.
I think, frankly, as time passes, and therefore the gap between the current generation that is forging relationships and the last generation that knew how to do it correctly, which...
Oh, I see. It's just lack. People are just ignorant, right? It's guys are dying to get with the girls and they just haven't been taught. It's funny. All the generations were good at telling their sons how to get this magical girl. And all of a sudden they just lost their ability to tell their sons how to do it. This is gibberish.
Might arguably be the silent generation.
It was only the silent generation. Somehow the boomers forgot. And also the silent generation, they were so good at picking up chicks, but they couldn't pass it on to their boomer boys. Right? It wasn't the case that the silent generation was fighting a world war, pre-nuclear technology, right? And the women clung to their men. Right.
Gap grows, the degree to which young people simply assume that a good romantic life is a myth. That
Well, it is a myth. It always was a myth. Think of how many of those lucky guys from the past dealt with the shrew who tore him down day and night. And that would have included all these silent generation guys who were so lucky to get married. What was the honeymooners all about? To the moon, Alice. You know, did Crampton have a good time with his wife? She was always stepping on him, right? That's what the silent generation got.
likelihood goes up. They see it as some sort of a story, and then you get realistic about, the defects of the other sex, and maybe you make some sort of transactional arrangement, but don't kid yourself, that's what it is.
Dude, they were always transactional. Always transactional.
Right? That view of men by women and women by men is absolutely toxic and dangerous.
It's dangerous, dude. He's in danger of not getting laid. That's what he's in danger. This guy is in danger of not getting laid. And it's toxic. It's toxic because he feels bad. It's funny, the women are all smiling. They're laughing their asses off. So if it's toxic, it's only toxic to one gender. Nameless grifter. By the way, Dapper. This guy's a nameless grifter. He's a grifter, whatever his name is.
Not least because
This is why he talks so slowly, too. If you know the truth, you're quick. I'm quick at speaking. Grifters, they have to take time. They got to build in their mind what they got to say.
reason that evolution built humans the way it did, and we are very unique in this regard. The reason that we are
Evolution is shit, dude. All it cares is whether we can pass the genes on or not. It doesn't care that we live good lives. What is the evolutionary advantage of having women hate men the way they do? Have contempt and indifference. What's the evolutionary, advantage to that? There isn't any.
constructed the way we are is for the purpose of child rearing. And that process of child rearing is
This is more, jumping back to what they call biological reductionism, right? This is all about child rearing, right? But dude, if you got it together with a woman and she used her, what do you call it, her prevention on a constant basis, you'd be fine with it. You would be fine with it, dude.
not simple in humans. It's not straightforward the way it is in any other creature, frankly, because humans are uniquely software-based creatures. That is to say, what you need to know in order to be an effective human being is not passed to you genetically. It is largely passed to you by parents who know something about their environment. And under normal circumstances, their environment would look an awful lot like the one that you were going to be an adult in. And so a passing of...
Oh, I see. So for some reason, the parents of the past forgot to pass on all this wisdom to boys and girls, right?
a coherent culture is the reason that human babies are so what we call altricial, meaning helpless when they're born, right? They have to be helpless in order to have their software program loaded on, and to get one loaded on that's relevant to the problems that they're going to face is really, it is both the biggest vulnerability that humans have, and it is the biggest asset we have, because we can have our software program tailored to an environment that looks entirely different than one 10,000 miles away or...
Well, yeah, we create our own environments. That's true, right? This has nothing to do with your issues of not getting some.
500 years in the past. So we need those partnerships. Parents...
No. You don't need these partnerships. We don't need partnerships at all. You crave them, you want one, but you don't need one. Men and women could just bang each other, and the women can produce their children and raise them, and that'd be it. Society would go on. Now, the big issue is that women despise their children, especially their boy children, and they don't they don't treat them well. Right? But the point is, we'd still get by without you having a permanent sexual partner. You just don't want it. You just don't want to do without.
Are not there to provide resources and, warmth and keep the rain off. Yes, that's a prerequisite to raising a child. But the bulk of the job is in the conveying.
Look at this bullshit up here. Men and women don't like each other. No, men worship women. That's why you're spewing your grift, dude.
Of wisdom about how to be a human being. And if men and women don't like each other, that job does not get done well. So civilization is depending on us solving this problem, and we are doing quite the opposite.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's what I say, guys. That's the problem. What is his solution? Nothing. Nothing. Because the solution is guys get over it. That's the solution. That guys get over it. Because no one's going to force women to do anything. You can't force women to love you. Because that's what men actually want. They want a woman to love him for himself. Never going to happen. Okay, Dapper. Are you going to get this right?
So here's the thing. Again, I don't know if we ever come back from this. Quite frankly, I don't know if we come back from this. Like I said at the beginning, the cat's out of the bag. People don't feel the way they used to when we're talking about love.
No, nonsense. People feel the exact same way, dude. It's just that the mask is off for the girls. The reason why you're holding this podcast is you feel exactly the same. You still worship women. You still want one in your life. You'd have a harem if you could. I know I would. We can't have that. Right?
Romance.
And women never liked us. Right? This is not new. You're just finding out now.
People don't
And you're still in denial.
believe in the idea of love and romance the way they used to. Like, individuals aside, we can sit here and talk about every...
Well, women never did. If they believed in it, they wouldn't be transactional in their relationships with us.
Individuals' bad behavior, good and bad traits, why it is or is not justified to feel any certain way about any certain person. At the end of the day, most people don't really believe in the idea of love the way they used to. That's a lot of it. That's a lot of it. And again, the cat's out of the bag.
So you think women are ditching men because they just don't believe in love? If women grabbed hold, if they grabbed hold of it, if women actually accepted men and liked us, then you would believe in it. You would believe in romance. You'd say, these women love us.
Bag. With smartphones, we are able to see as much of anything as we want.
Right. And this is great.
Every bit of information is at our fingertips.
Good, good.
Anything you want or desire or ponder, wonderful. You can instantaneously have.
Yes. Good.
Doesn't leave much room for desire. Doesn't leave much room for mystery.
What are you talking about? All you've got is desire. And right, the mystery's gone. The mask is off. What are you going to do about it?
Or buildup of any kind. Look at dating apps, just the endless swiping. It just
Ah,
devalues the human element of dating.
what are you talking about? All it's doing is exposing what the human element is all about. This is what the ladies always wanted. Dude, if women wanted to be with men, you would need an app in the first place. You could find a girl across the street.
We don't value humans that much anymore in the dating world.
We never did. Guys being thrown to the war meat grinder has been going on since the dawn of time. What are you talking about?
It's gotten very transactional. It's gotten
No,
very,
no, no. It has always been transactional.
very robotic. And I don't know how you put that cat back in the bag.
Well, why would you want to? Why would you want to go back to sleep and pretend that people who hate your guts like you? What a loser, Dapper.
don't know if that's possible. But like I said earlier, even me talking about old school Disney romance and love and the butterflies and laying your head down at night.
Dapper, you failed utterly. You failed utterly. You still get your head in the sand. You're useless. But I'm going to end off saying our rights are being attacked as men by these women on a constant basis. I think you should worry about that over getting a partner to rule over you. We'll end it here.